Yoga. I'm Stephanie. Today's practice will guide us in opening up, loosening up some tight hips and hip flexors. Join me here on the floor. We'll begin by putting our feet flat on our mats, reaching out nice and wide and giving our shins and legs a great big hug, really pulling in to stretch behind the shoulder blades, maybe rocking back and forth on the heels and up to the toes, reaching long almost in that nice good morning stretch. And we'll reach up and we'll let that go. I'm gonna lean back onto my arms and just give my hips a bit of a windshield wiper side to side, getting a little bit of a twist in the low back, a little bit of stretch to the outside of the glutes. And we'll come back to the center, sit up nice and tall, and we'll find ourselves in our butterfly position or our cobbler's pose. We'll stack the shoulders over the ribs over the hips, and float the ears up over the tips of your traps here, right up there. The neck is long. We're going to aim for equally long inhales and exhales, completely filling your lungs, completely emptying your lungs. As we breathe in, we'll go into our seated cow pose, using the feet. Pull with your hands to send your chest forward, your forehead and nose up to the sky. Exhale, rounding back to your seated cat pose. The spine reaches way beyond the back of your mat. Inhale, seated cow. Exhale, seated cat. And taking a couple more of these at your own pace. Find your way back to that long spine, that lovely seated position. We'll walk the hands just a little bit forward in front of your body. From here, we're going to keep the spine nice and long. We're trying to sit up rather than rounding the spine into a C curve. We're going to hinge a little bit at the waist, just reaching so that the weight of our upper body is propelled towards the front of our feet and legs. Yes, lovely. If it's comfortable, come all the way down. If it's not super comfortable for you, we're just going to think about softening the elbows and lengthening the crown of the head all the way to the other side of your room. I'm thinking about finding where the ceiling and the wall meet on the opposite side of my room here. Release your feet. Notice if you're holding any tension in your feet, holding any tension here in your glutes or your knees. Try to let that go. And we'll walk it back up. Lovely. We'll lift up the knees a little bit. I'm going to reach my hands under my ankles, and we're going to find a bit of a balance here, which mostly I think is just really, really fun. And we're going to tap our toes together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold them together. And lower back down with control. Lovely little core activation there. A little bit of stabilizing work. It's so fun. All right, so let's see. From our butterfly, I'm going to keep my left leg right where it is. I'm going to use my hands and arms to help my right leg reach itself out to the side. So I'm going for the corner of my mat. I'm not trying to find my biggest, baddest straddle ever, but just a nice, gentle stretch for me. So again, that's going to be a different spot for all of us. Maybe you're more comfortable in like a tight V. Maybe you're going to be comfortable all the way out as if you're making a T with your body. But again, going for a gentle stretch, not an all-out power move here, yeah? From here, I'm going to scoot my left foot into my right thigh, and then I'm going to have a bit of activation there. My right thigh is pressing towards my left foot so that I have a lot of activity happening right here. I'm going to take my hands down, one on either side of the leg. Take a deep breath. Exhale, we're going to walk the arms, the hands out towards the foot. I'm thinking very much about lining my chest up with my legs. So we're here in a bit of a twist as well as a stretch for the hamstrings, the back of my right glute, and my left hip flexor is still enjoying that turnout position. From here, you might want to just soften the elbows and let them be heavy. You might be able to reach the foot and want to give your body a pull. You could also do that from your shin or your thigh. But I am thinking about sending my nose towards my toes so I have a long spine rather than a C-curved spine, which I would have if I dropped my head towards my knee. So thinking about pressing the chest to the leg, reaching the nose to the toes. We'll breathe here for one more moment. And we'll press up into those hands, walk the hands back to full sitting. And again, we're going to use the arms to assist us, so it's not a super active movement for the legs. I'm going to open my left leg. I'm going to pull my right back into that butterfly position. And then I'm going to use my arms to help my left leg find its way out to its extended position towards the corner. We'll rotate so that the right foot is pressing into our left thigh. Again, very active. We've got that counter pressure going. So this is not a passive stretch at all. We're actively creating this torque, this tension here. Twisting to line the chest up with your left leg, one hand on either side of the leg. And on your exhale, we'll start to walk the hands down, finding that challenging but not at all terrible stretch. And we'll settle in. Maybe reach towards your foot and give it a pull. Maybe reach towards your shin or your thigh, or just keep resting on your mat. Let those elbows be heavy. The weight of your arms will give a bit of gravity, a bit of pull to the upper body. Sending your nose out towards your toes. Trying to drop your chest down towards your thigh and knee. Of course, we're breathing. Still in through the nose and out through your nose. Actively pressing your right foot into your left thigh. And on an exhale, we'll press the earth away. Walk the hands back. Find that tall, tall, tall seat. And this time, we will let our left leg stay. We'll assist our right leg in opening up to our full straddle this time. So again, we're going for a challenging stretch. We do want to find a place that feels active, that feels like your inner thighs are working pretty hard. We want to have long legs behind the knees, so that does not mean straightening all the way and locking out the knees. That's quite dangerous for our bodies, but we are thinking length. So I'm going to point my toes and send energy out my toes all the way to the opposite side of my room. Yes, lovely. And again, opening up to a place that feels challenging, but not the craziest stretch you could ever do, and then you're going to hurt tomorrow, right? Yeah. So from here, maybe you're sitting up just here, and we're going to work on sitting tall rather than sitting behind our pelvis. So from here, my sit bones are pointing at you, and I really want my sit bones of my pelvis pointing down into the floor. Find those pointed feet. If you'd like a little bit more depth to this stretch, we'll start to walk it forward. So the weight of my upper body shifting in front of my pelvis should have changed the way the stretch feels to my legs quite a bit. You can drop your elbows. Just the weight of that is a big deal. You can walk all the way down, resting perhaps on your backs of your hands. Maybe you want to block. You can rest your forehead right here on the block. You can do double fists. Or for your full seated straddle, you can reach your hands down towards your feet, resting here. So for our practice today, we will hold this just a moment longer, but if straddle is something you're really working on, pause the video, hang out here for a little bit. Once this becomes a little bit comfortable, try to deepen it by anchoring your heels and scooching your pelvis. This will get comfortable after a little while. So you anchor your heels and you scooch your pelvis again and again and again. Centimeters, millimeters even, but your body knows that you just increased it quite a bit. For now, if you're not pausing the video to stay here, we'll push up into our hands, walk the body all the way back up to your full seat, drop your shoulders, and with a little bit of assistance, we'll release those feet and start to release your legs out in front of you and give it a bit of a windshield wiper again. Release those hip flexors. Lovely work. We're going to find our way out into our staff position where our legs are nice and long. I'm going to turn my body to the side so you can see me a little bit better. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. If this feels painful or like a very, very deep stretch to you, I want you to pause the video and grab a yoga block or a rolled up blanket or towel and sit it right under your sit bones to give your pelvis a lift so that your pelvis is higher than your heels. So we're all going to sit up nice and tall, thinking length behind the knees, flexing the toes towards the face, and the head floats over the shoulders over the ribs over the hips over the sit bones and the mat. We're going to reach down and use our hands to help our left leg come in, the left hand to the outside of the knee, the right hand to the outside of the foot and ankle, and we're just going to give the left leg a bit of a cradle, a bit of a rock. I'm trying to support it with my hands and arms as much as possible. And we'll stir the femur around in the hip socket, changing directions. Lovely. And I'm going to cross my left ankle over my right thigh. Both of my feet are flexed and release it there. And so I have this lovely figure 4 position. And very gently, just the weight of my arms, I'm going to press onto my left knee and give it a bit of a lean forward. While we're leaned forward, we'll wrap the left arm around the left knee. Wrap the right arm around the left ankle and foot. And exhale, squeeze your belly to sit up nice and tall. Give that left leg a hug. And we're going to send the left foot back out to the right, maybe taking it through a full extended reach. Maybe not. And while we're down here, we'll use the arms to bring the right leg up. The left hand comes to the outside, or the right hand comes to the outside of the right knee. The left hand to the foot and ankle. And we'll give it a bit of a cradle, stirring the femur around in the hip socket, changing directions. Sitting up as tall as we can. And we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh, finding a point that doesn't feel like your ankle is going to dig right on through your left thigh. And we'll release the weight of the right arm into that right knee and give your body just a gentle fold forward. And we'll breathe here. Lengthening through the spine, opening the chest, and letting that right hip sink down. As we're down here already, we'll reach and wrap the arms around that right leg and exhale, squeeze the belly to sit up nice and tall. Pull the leg towards your chest, sitting as tall as you can. And once again, we'll release the right foot down to the left Again, maybe we want to reach all the way through. Maybe we just scoot it down. No big deal. Let that go. We're going to bend the knees. We're going to push the weight up with our hands. So here we are in our plank position. You can hold full plank, or maybe you drop your knees down to the mat into a knee plank, or maybe you find tabletop, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Any of those options is wonderful. So if you are in your full plank or any other version, we're going to lift the right foot and pull the right knee towards the chest, stepping it through into a low lunge. We're going to drop the back knee, untuck the back foot, and walk your right fingers to the inside of your right foot and walk your right foot out towards the side of your mat. So I'm much wider now, and my toes are actually pointed out at a diagonal, a little bit more towards the corner of my mat. We're going to take the weight into the chest. Notice if you're gripping in either of your hips and see if you can let those muscles be soft. Don't hold on to your glutes or your thighs, anything at all. If you'd like a deeper stretch for your left hip flexor and your right glutes, we're going to lower down to your forearms, sinking into lizard pose. Maybe you even rock onto the pinky toe edge of your right foot. Maybe you don't. We're breathing, taking this only as deep as feels challenging and a little uncomfortable for you. It should not be painful. It should not be excruciating. It should be maybe intense. We're breathing, bringing your focus into any interesting sensations you're having. What does your hip flexor feel like? What would happen if you turned your right toes a little bit further to the side of your mat? What if you turn them a little less from the side of your mat? On your next exhale, we're going to walk heel toe, that right foot back to the center under your chest. Bring the right hand once more to the outside of the right foot. So we're framing the right foot. We're going to tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, take that weight into your hand and send the right foot back. Exhale, lift the left. Bring the knee to your chest. Step it through. Beautiful. We're going to lower the right knee, untuck the right foot. Lovely. And then we're going to take the left hand around to the inside of your left foot, heel toeing, walking that left foot out towards the side of your mat, sending your toes more towards the corner of your mat, releasing the muscles around your pelvis, sinking down. And again, just like on the other side, you have options. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe you lower to your forearms. Maybe you lie all the way down. You can play with that a little bit, choose an option, and if it becomes too much, bring it on back. Maybe you'd like to lift your left foot up to balance on the pinky toe side of your left foot. Maybe that feels horrible to you or not different at all. That's fine. Sinking down. Notice where you're tensing your body. And reminding your body that the floor has you, the earth has you. There's no need. One more breath here. If you're on your forearms, we'll press back up to our palms and we'll toe heel that left foot back to the center, bringing the left hand back to the outside of the foot. Nice. And we'll tuck the right foot. We'll lift the right knee, step it back to our plank. Lovely work. From here, we're going to bring our bodies down to the mat. Maybe you drop to knees, chest, chin. Maybe a full chaturanga. And then all the way down. We're going to press our hips to our heels for a child's pose, bringing the toes together, the big toes, and opening the knees out to the side. Lovely work, everyone. Dropping your forehead. And making your way back to an easy tabletop. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We'll sit back and scoot around, taking our weight onto our bums, all the way to the center of your mat. So let's place your feet gently on your mat. Let's hold on to our shins. Feel our spines lengthen, sitting up so tall. Feel your head float above your shoulders, and then either keeping your hands on your shins or extending palms up out in front of you. We're going to round the spine, rolling down one vertebrae to your mat at a time. Your head will touch last. And release the arms when you get there. Lovely work. Notice your shoulders. Drop them away from the ceiling and away from your ears at the same time. Lovely. We'll plant the left foot. Bring your right knee into your chest. Give it a bit of a shake. Loosen up those muscles. And then either entirely on its own or use your arms. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee for a gentle reclined figure 4 or half pigeon. You can choose to stay right here or lift the left foot off. We'll reach through the legs to pull the back of the thigh closer to you. Maybe you extend the left leg, maybe giving it some ankle circles while you're here. Changing directions if you haven't. Exhale, one more nice, gentle pull to the chest. We'll release the heel towards your bum. We'll drop the foot to the floor. And we'll release that knee. We're going to give it some swivels. Knee in, knee out, knee in. I'm just making a little figure 8 with my knee to stir my femur around in my hip socket. Let it go. Nice. So keeping the right foot on the floor, we'll float the left knee up. Give it a gentle shake, flopping all those leg muscles around and crossing the left ankle over the right knee. Pressing right here, enjoying this reclined half pigeon, figure 4, or pull the right knee towards you, reaching through the legs to pull the thigh a little bit closer to you, trying to relax your arms rather than letting your shoulders curve up and off your mat. Let your shoulder blades be nice and heavy. If you'd like, we'll float the right foot up to the ceiling. Maybe some ankle circles. Changing directions. Release that foot. Give it one more nice pull. Release the heel to the hip. Release the foot to your mat. And we'll lift that left leg off, finding those figure 8s. Swivel it in and out and in and out. Release the foot to the mat and shake that out. Notice your muscles. See if you can Allow them to become liquid, just melting away from your bones. You can stay right here where you are with those parallel feet, parallel legs. Or if you'd like to come into a constructive rest position, we'll heel toe the feet out towards the edges of your mat, and then let the knees come to rest on each other. We'll bring the left hand to the heart, the right hand to your belly. Drop your shoulders. Flutter your eyes closed. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Let it slow down if it picked up while we moved around. And as you go about your day or night, or whatever time it is for you, noticing when you're clenching, when you're working harder than you need to. And a simple, but not always easy, letting go would be more in order. Thank you for practicing with me today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.